Well, I have a situation I would like to, address, and I think you would help me. You've been so helpful thus far.
Sure.
I have a child that I'm really concerned with their speech and language, and they're about 4 years old, and I'm really concerned, and I've tactfully tried to address the parent in a subtle way and not be offensive that I had concerns.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That could be a challenge, but there's always a way to, handle everything. So, tell me, do you do the developmental assessments, the ASAQs, or some kind of assessment?
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay.
And we have a computer one that we can do online, and he's not receptive to that. He feels that it would
The parent
label.
you're talking about?
Yes, the
Okay.
parent feels it might
So-
label his child, so he has not been receptive. For the last couple of years, he's declined.
Okay. So when you do the ASAQs, that is a really great tool because it's simple enough for the parents to do themselves. And sometimes when we want to tell parents something, it's hard to hear for whatever reason, whether it's too emotional for them or whether they just get defensive because, or they don't have the time. Sometimes they don't have the time. They just don't want to hear it because they don't have the time. It seems silly to us professionals, but sometimes that could be what's going into play here. But that tool is really meant for the provider to do it as well as the parent to do it. And if you give it to him to do, to the parents to do, that, and you already have yours, then you can let them know that, this is the way I'd like to approach this, and, if you'll do yours, then maybe we can sit back down at another time and do them together. Because it's really different when a parent sees something in writing and knows that within this age group where their child is at, that these, items should be met. Okay, so it's almost like them on their own, they're like, I haven't seen that happen. Or, gee, yeah, my kid doesn't have that many words. Or whatever it is, they can kind of like discover it on their own. And then when that happens, at times, it's a little easier for them to actually talk to somebody about it. Because honestly, nobody wants to be told that their child is deficient in anything, it's just nature, we want our kids to be like perfect, and
definitely.
However, those tools were made, for a reason. So someone that is not a professional in speech therapy, which we are not,
right.
But those indicators on there are a way to start to look at what's going on. So it's never too late, and just try it that way, and then be prepared for when you have your, and then just ask questions. Oh, you saw that? I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen him say that or this or that. So, because you are with him his best waking hours.
Yes.
And parents, have a lot to do, and sometimes they just don't realize it. So it's best when they discover it on their own, because then they can say, oh, and then maybe be a little bit open. So you could try that, and, and see where it goes. And, once you do that, why don't you, give me a call and see what he said. Sooner or later, he will need to address it, because I hear you saying, you've tried. But maybe when you do get together with him at that point, you might want to say, there's something called early intervention. Do you know about it? They might say yes, they might say no. And let me tell you a little bit about it. And your child, can get some help so that, the language might just, with a few sessions, just come, we don't know.
Right.
And so not knowing is why I have a little bit of a concern, some concern, put it in as light way as you can, and then take it from there. If they're really still upset and stuff, try it again later, because that's all we can really do is just try, because their child is, they're the parents are the parents, and we are the caregivers, and all we can do is really try. Okay?
And I think we both have the child's best interest at
Absolutely.
heart. So we both want the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you. I
See,
appreciate
absolutely.
you.